Welcome, guys. So today I just want to have a little bit of a talk about the laws around when you've got investment property and maybe you decide to rent that to your mother, your son, your daughter, a relative, friend or family. And there are a couple of things that happen there and surprisingly, it might surprise you, it might not surprise you, but surprisingly I actually see this in practice quite often and clients will often raise these couple of issues. Basically, two scenarios that could go on here. I mean, there's another scenario. One scenario is you rent it to your brother or your mother, and you rent it at exactly market rate. You know, you check the market, even get a rental appraisal from a real estate agent, and you rent that property at exactly the normal market rate. There's no issue in doing that. It's just like renting to someone else. Unless you have a self-managed super fund, in which case you're not allowed, you're prohibited from renting that property to a relative. Well, back to normal. We're not talking really self-managed super today. What I really was trying to talk about is just normal rental properties in your own name or yours and your wife's name. So we rent it to our son, daughter, mother, cousin, whoever. And you know what some clients will do is they say, well, maybe they don't have much mortgage on it, and the son is or daughter, whoever is paying cheapish rent to them. They say, it's my son is paying me, so it's private. It's not taxable, right? And this is definitely not the case. So, when you're receiving rent, it doesn't matter if you're receiving it from a relative. It's definitely taxable income. So yes, you do need to put that on your tax return. Surprisingly, a lot of clients, when I tell them that, they're very surprised. Oh my God, I have to put the rent on the tax return. So even though you're renting to a family member, yeah, you do need to put that on your tax return. The other thing that will happen is some clients, again, they're renting it to a friend or family. They're doing cheapish rate. Oh, it's my son, or, should be $400 a week. I'll just rent it at $200 a week to help him out and her out, whoever. And, we still have, it might be brand new property. We've got a big mortgage. We've got council rates, insurance, all this stuff, repairs. And, even though we've got quite cheap rent, we still have a lot of overheads. Those overheads are much higher than the rent. So we have what we call heavy negative gear, big tax deductions there. And the clients will still claim all those tax deductions and save a lot on tax. Mum and dad could be earning good money. That tax deduction is quite valuable. Now, unfortunately, taxman says no, can't do that. We can't be, normally, rent might be here and expenses might be up here. You can claim that. It's what we call negatively geared. You've got a tax deduction, get a bigger refund, and that helps you with the cost of owning the property. But now we drop the rent down because we're renting to a friend or family, and we're still claiming that much? No. So what the taxman says is, in that case, what their preference or what they would like you to do is, and generally, we do what the taxman wants you to do, otherwise most likely going to get in trouble. So what they say is, your rent's down here, you need to bring your tax deductions to exactly meet that. So to say, in the case that you're renting to a friend or family, your total deductions relating to that property can be up to equal with your rent. So you can break even on your rent, but you cannot have a deduction, have a negative gear there. And there's some case law around that. So these are things that have been taken to court, and this is the treatment, preferred treatment of the tax office, but also what the courts have decided. So it is important to get these things right. These are a couple of the areas that the tax office is currently focusing on with rental properties. So it really is important at the moment to be getting your rental property work accurate. So, do double check that and do get professional advice. You're welcome to come and see us, or go and, if you have either of those two scenarios that I've talked about happening, you do really need to talk to a professional and get that right and fix it if you are doing it wrong, and do that as soon as possible. All right. Thanks, guys.